What do we got here?
What can I do you for?
I was looking for a self-defense pistol. I need something to defend myself. I don't have one. It's my first pistol.
Well, son, you don't have a pistol?
No.
This one's not for you. You don't want this shit. I got something special for you.
What do you got?
These are the best pistols money can buy. This one right here, this is a Glock 7. This
Glock
costs
7?
more than you make in a month.
I think that's too much.
This one, it's got a ceramic slide.
I don't know.
They're great. These are the best you can get.
Everybody talks about Glocks. Why is everybody telling me to buy a Glock? What the hell is with everybody telling me to buy a Glock? I'm tired of it.
Them youngins. What's up, guys? Welcome back to Range Logic, and today we're going over every 9mm Glock variant.
Let's get into it.
All right, guys, we're going to get into the history of Glock for just a second here. Back in 1963, Gaston Glock created a company. They were making curtain rods and knives for the military. And then in the early 80s, the Austrian military invited him to take place in the military trials for a new service pistol. At that point, he created a team with no prior firearms experience and created the G17, the Glock 17. And once that was adopted by the Austrian military, then it was under the designation P80. It didn't become the Glock 17 until it was commercially sold. And then from then on, the numbers have increased as the models have increased as well. So you had the 17, then you would have had the 18C, which was the fully automatic, and then the 19 and so on, working their way up. So we're going to go ahead and get an in-depth view of each one of these, and we'll go through what every pistol is, what they have on them, and what the generations of them are, and what the differences are between the generations. So let's get right into that. All right, guys, we're going to go ahead and start with the Glock 26, the smallest 9mm that they offer. This is the 26 Gen 2.5. This was something I picked up used, and it has no checkering on the finger grooves, and it also has a different finish on the slide that you'll notice compared to the Gen 5s. So this was one of the very earlier models, and then this one here is a Gen 5 26. Notice the difference in the checkering, ambidextrous mag release, as well as slide release. You can maneuver that around however you want. They added the slide serrations up front here, as well as a more robust recoil guide rod and assembly and spring in there. So these are the two versions of the Glock 26, separated by several years. You can see the little bit of changes they had between them. All right, guys, next up is the slimline Glock models. Here's the 43X. Nice slim package here. This one has been upgraded with the shield arms magazine release and metal magazines to allow for that additional ammo capacity up to 15 rounds. So it matches a Glock 19, but it's much slimmer here. We also have the Holosun 507K and the Streamlight TLR7 sub on here. This is a great concealment pistol, great to carry all day with a lot of comfort. Next up, a little bit larger, is the 48. Same lower on it, same magazine release, the shield arms, with a little bit longer barrel. We have the Vortex Defender on here as well. I opted for no light on it. And these are just some great concealment pistols. The slimlines are pretty awesome. Definitely worth looking into.
So next up, we got the Glock 19. This is the third model that Glock produced. This particular example is a Generation 3. Generation 3 had the finger grooves and they had a different pattern. This one has been stippled. We got the extended magwell on there. This is running the XJ30 Surefire light, which is compatible with their Masterfire series holsters. This one was milled with the RMR cut. This was before Glock was having the MOS system, which allows you to have different optics plates, so you had to have them custom milled. This also has the lightning cuts on the slide so that it can operate with something heavier like an RMR. And then over here we have the Gen 5 Glock 19. This is their newest example of the Glock 19. With the Gen 5, this one we went with something a little bit more simple. This just has the Enforce light with the super easy to turn on and off buttons. And then this is the stock Gen 5 grip with their Gen 5 texture on it. Now the Gen 5 does have some significant upgrades, making the weapon fully ambidextrous with an ambidextrous mag release and ambidextrous slide release on top of that.
All right, now we're moving on to the 17. So this was the original model that Glock came up with. This is actually a Lipsy reproduction of the Gen 1. So this is a faithful reproduction of what the original G17 looked like. You can tell a very clear difference in the stippling pattern here. This was kind of like a slick stippling almost. No finger grooves whatsoever. They also did not have a rail in the front originally. They were very slick and just very smooth. They were kind of meant for just high speed, so to speak, at the time. This one here does have a little bit of a different finish compared to the rest. The grip is very nice. I've actually come to like the lack of finger grooves quite a bit more now. So moving up from the Gen 1, this is an original Gen 2. So you can still see they still have no finger grooves, but they've added this texturing on the back strap and the front, and they've changed it quite a bit there. We still have no rail system, and we still have that little bit different finish on the barrel, or on the slide. Other than that, I mean, it's just a stock Gen 2, but just visually you can tell how it's going to change through the years. So moving up from a Gen 2, we skip a generation. This is a Gen 4 with quite a few upgrades to it, so it does look a little unique here. But the Gen 4, now we've added finger grooves, changed the checkering on the grip. Same trigger as far as the visuals, it hasn't changed. This one has the Surefire X300U, and then we have the Acro P2 as well. We did get a milled slide straight for the Acro, so we didn't have to do any kind of weird mounting plates on it. I've lost the front sight, but I'm not too worried about that. So, and visually, it's striking compared to the Gen 1s. Then moving up from a Gen 4, we have the Gen 5, its most recent iteration. This one, they've eliminated the finger grooves again. Same texturing, the checkering all the way around. Full ambi controls now at this point. You have slide release and mag release. You can swap them around. This one, we went with the Hollow Sun, and this particular model is solar, and it also mounts directly to the rail, and the serrations actually match. So it looks like it was supposed to come with that. So that's very nice. And then we did another X300 Turbo on here, and you just kind of see how it's a little bit different. Still kind of the same pattern, obviously, but they kind of go back and forth with their texturing, their grips, and their finger grooves there.
Next up, we got some of the big boys. Right here, we have the Glock 34. This is a Generation 5, so it has the full ambidextrous setup like you've seen in the other Generation 5s. Additionally, we put the Trijicon SRO in there. This is the MOS version, so you can see that it has the mounting plate right below it, and that allows us to mount on any RMR footprint red dots. And then last, but certainly not least, of the full-size Glocks, we have the 17L. So the 17L uses the exact same frame as a Glock 17. However, this slide up top is the extended slide. We got about 1.5 inch extension on it, and that leads to a really, really smooth shooting target pistol. This was designed for target competitions. It is quite beautiful to shoot with. It's been a lot of fun. Again, this one is the Generation 5, which has that ambidextrous controls, the MOS plate, and those front serrations, which on something this long of a slide, those front serrations are greatly appreciated. All right, now one thing we didn't go over looking at the individual pistols was Glock's new Generation 5 intercompatibility. The intercompatibility allows you to make or swap the slides out on your Glock lowers with other Glock slides to make different types of pistols. So you might have noticed some of the more recent Glocks that have come out, the 47, the 45, and the 49. They're all very similar. And with just purchasing 2 Glocks, like a 47 and a 19, you can make a 45 and a 49 out of those 2 variants. The 45 was the kind of the entrance into this intercompatibility. The 45 lower and the 47 lower are the same. And then you have the Glock 19 and the Glock 49. Both those lowers are the exact same. And with that, you're able to swap these slides out and make different pistols. So I'm going to bring the camera in and we're going to swap some of these slides out so you can kind of see the difference. So first up, we have a simple Glock 19 Generation 5 and a Glock 47 Generation 5. Now, you can swap both of these barrels and with these lowers, and you can see a different setup. So I'm going to quickly do that. So now, after quickly swapping just the uppers and lowers, you now have a Glock 49, which is their newest model, which has the shorter grip and the longer barrel. And then you also have a Glock 45, which this came out right after the Glock 19X came out. This is the exact same pattern as the 19X. The 19X was one of the Glocks that was submitted for government trials for the U.S. sidearm that the Army was running, their modular handgun system. So this was the civilian market model. The 45 came out shortly after the 19X. This one has a full 17th length slide, 17th length grip, but it has that shorter dust cover and barrel of a Glock 19. So with that, just buying 2 Glocks, you can build 4 different Glock models with those.
All right, guys, we came up with a cool little drill to try and compare some of these pistols and kind of mess around with each other a little bit. So we're each going to pick a gun for each other to perform a 5-yard build drill, and we'll kind of see how the recoil goes and see if we can kind of mess with each other and throw each other off their game. So, Steve?
I'll pick first. Let's see. What do we want him to run? Tell you what. You get right here, the Gen 5 19.
All right. And then, Steve, I want you... Ooh, all right. First round, I want you to do the 48.
Roger.
All right, we're going to go ahead and load up here real quick. All right, so we're already got the target set at 5 yards just in front of us. Go ahead and load and make ready. Steve's got the timer for me. Oh. I don't know what shot it was, but I did get one just above the A zone. All other 5 were in the A zone. We're going to both do our string, and then we'll show you guys the target. Stand by. .270 was your time, all A's. Yeah, so this one was mine, flyer. All the rest were all in the A zone.
All the rest are A's for both strings. Mine were a little bit lower. His were up here.
All right, round 2. I'm going to pick first for Steve. Go ahead and grab that 17L.
Oh, buddy.
Hell yeah. What do you got for me?
Let's see. I want you to run the Gen 5 26.
Oh, man. Okay. All
Big
right.
boy and small boy.
We're going to go ahead and load up real quick. Yeah, literally the biggest and the smallest.
Yep.
I do think this is a totally average gun, though.
Completely above average.
I would think.
Honestly, it might be too much for some people.
It could be.
I think it's significant.
All right, you go ahead and go first this time.
17L.
Shooter ready. Stand by.
Didn't count right.
3-2-4 was your time. That's all right, though.
Yeah. One just above the A zone. So one high. The rest were in the A zone. We'll go ahead and show it after Dan fires.
All right, we got the 26 Gen 5. Disclaimer, this one is not my pistol.
It also has the excess sights on it.
Oh, God.
Very different.
All right.
All right, shooter ready. Woo! 227.
All right, let's look at this.
So you can actually see the velocity difference. All mine were 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 6. And then all these are the 26s.
Yeah, you can actually see the hole is a little bit larger.
A little bit different. And that's the longest barrel versus shortest barrel. So there is some difference there. We were all A zone except for mine. I had 1 flyer. But all of these are deadly shots for an average size person. Looking at the 26, they all were a little low.
Yeah, yep. It was the sights I'm not used to there.
All right,
right.
we're going to run it again. We're removing the weapons we already shot, and we're going to keep whittling down until we get to the end. Let's see. I'm going to pick first. I know what. You're going to be running the 19.
Oh,
Gen 3 19.
that's my baby. Are you sure you want me to run my baby?
I want you to run that rattly old thing.
All right. You run my 26.
Roger. Let's load it up. Same distance, same target.
All right, I got the Gen 3 17. I think this will be an easy win for me.
We'll see.
I'm thinking.
All right.
Let me make sure the dot's good. All right.
Shooter ready.
Not so much.
189. So fastest yet today. However,
two misses.
yeah, 2 in the C zones left and right.
Damn it. Damn. I want to redo. All right.
All right, I got the 26 Gen 2.5.
Shooter ready. Stand by.
Didn't load. We're
Let's
gonna redo that.
restart. All right. Stand by. 243 was the time. Pretty good.
1 C zone low left. So let's go ahead and take a look. So you can see here, we got, this was my low left, and Dan shot a C zone here and here. The rest of ours were center mass.
Not too bad. I mean,
No.
yeah, obviously, but you know.
Yeah. Just right outside of the A zone for me. And same thing with this one. This one is just right outside the A zone. This is the only far C zone. All right, so we're gonna be picking another set, and we'll be going through the build drill.
Here you go, Steve.
The 43X. Let's go.
All right, what do you got for me?
Let's see. You know what? You get the Gen 1.
All right, let's load up.
All right, I'm loaded up with the 43X. Let's go ahead and see how this works.
All right, stand by. 236. That was your fastest time there. All A's.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh, no.
nope.
Well, one
One.
Charlie, a little high.
Yep.
Yep, almost missed that one.
So you're gonna have to get yourself a 43X.
Let's go next round.
Gen 1.
Let's see. Unmodified.
Yeah.
Bone stock Gen 1.
All right.
Shooter ready. Fucking laser beam.
Yeah.
204.
Definitely the
and
most
all
accurate.
just dead center. Probably our closest group yet. So you see here, this is my one flyer. All of the Gen 1s is right here. So these one, this one, this one, this one, and this one, I believe. So they're all just dead center, that Gen 1. It's a laser beam. It's a 17, so 17 can't go wrong with
that
it.
was nice. So, all right, we're down to 4. We got all 4 mags loaded up. All of them are 17 grips, so we can go ahead and get them ready.
Let's
what am I doing?
see. You're going to get the 47.
All right. You are going to take... do the Gen 2.
Gen
You got
2?
the Gen 2.
That was the one. That was the one where I missed one shot before
That's true.
during the run.
Who's up first, me?
Yep.
All right. Ready to go.
Shooter ready. .195, all A's. Your best one yet.
Looks like I need one of those.
Yeah. 47 shoots smooth.
All right. Gen 2, 17. Stand by. Oh, you got 4 almost in the same hole.
Oh yeah, that's probably my best group. However, I got one C in just off to the right. So mine were all up here, except for this one.
Yeah, you
And
got
yours were all right here.
all right there. Like
Yeah.
you blew that out.
That's amazing.
Yeah,
That
that's
Gen
pretty
2
cool.
is smooth, super smooth. I love it.
Oh, it's nice. You haven't had a lot of runtime on it.
Yep.
All right, guys, down to the final 2. We're gonna go ahead and flip a coin to see who gets to shoot what. Go ahead and call it in the air.
Heads. And tails. So you get a pick first.
I'm gonna take the 34.
I guess I get the 17. This is the Gen 4 17.
All right. Shooter ready. Stand by. 221.
All A zones. Pretty good.
I think that was your fastest time.
No, I believe the 43X, I was faster.
Oh, okay.
I was like 201 for that one.
All right. 34.
Shooter ready. Bam. Easy. Looks like one is on the line, but it's still A zone.
Oh, yeah. That one's right on the edge, but it's there.
Right on the edge, but his were all mostly up here. He has a couple down here. Mine were the low ones right here.
Yeah, but we all hit
all A's.
Center. All A's.
That was pretty fun. All right, so we reloaded all the mags. Again, we're just using Freedom Munitions 115 grain full metal jackets. And I'm gonna go down the line, shoot every variant, and I'll tell you what my thoughts are. So first up, we got the Gen 2 Glock 26. I love it. Smooth. I honestly, first time I shot a 26, I'm like, what do I do with my pinky? Never bothered me once I picked it up. I love the 26. Can't go wrong with it. Next up, Gen 5 26. Man, I like the new recoil system. The new recoil system, I think, is a lot more reliable than the older one. However, like my brother was saying, that Gen 2.5, those early generations, they are smooth as butter. I think a big part of that, though, it could be the thousands of rounds shot through. So we'll continue up the line and see what we think. Next up, the 43X. So 43 is the exact same thing, just the shorter grip. This is 43X, so it has that full-size grip, so a little bit more comfortable. And we're still using those shield mags. Little snappy. I personally don't carry any of the slim lines. I'm very comfortable carrying the full-size Glocks. But in terms of comfort, especially for people that don't carry a lot because they don't dress in a way to carry a weapon, you could wear basically a skin-tight t-shirt and conceal this. That's how skinny this weapon is. Moving on to the 48, same thing as a 43X, but that got that longer slide. So we're expecting a little bit less recoil, but we'll see. Again, just a little bit smoother, but very comfortable to shoot, and even more comfortable to carry. That's why they built these. Next up, we got this, the modified Gen 3 Glock 19. Very modified. Those lightning cuts, it just makes this slide just a lot faster moving, but we'll see how it feels. Pretty good. Definitely smoother than the smaller Glocks. Second you get up to a 19, you get that pinky on there, it's just a lot smoother. You could shoot all day with this and not even know you're carrying a compact pistol. Next up, Gen 5 Glock 19. This is my personal carry. I carry this every single day without fail. I've shot this many times. This is my go-to pistol no matter what. So let's go ahead and see how this one compares. Again, I think it's a little bit smoother. You have a little bit more weight up there. It just absorbs the recoil a little bit better than the third generation. Again, the Gen 5s have that upgraded spring system, which I think it lends to a lot less felt recoil on the Generation 5s compared to the older generations. However, getting those older generations, you can get really good deals on them, so you can never really go wrong. Next up, we got the Gen 5 47. Really only comes in Gen 5. It's a newer model. But let's go ahead and try this out. And this has that SCS mounted directly to MOS, so you can use irons or red dot. You can co-witness them, so it's quite nice. Now this one, I love it. I love how fast you can shoot. The second you get to that bigger grip, you're so much more confident just putting mass down range. You could just sink the lead down there. When you get that full-size grip, you get that purchase on there, it just feels right. Until you get a full size like Glock 17 or Glock 47 in your hands, or 45 even. Once you get that full size grip, you just feel different. It feels different. You got to try it out. I highly recommend it. Going back to the Lipsy Gen 1, this is the Gen 1 Glock 17. I also have one of these as well, and it's one of my favorites. I just love pulling this out. That super clean, high-speed look. None of that extra stuff on it. Although I do like that extra stuff sometimes, you just want to go back to the basics. Super smooth, super smooth. Although I think the 47 is a little bit smoother. It has that upgraded recoil system. So I think the 47 is a little bit smoother than this. Again, this doesn't have any flashlight attachments, none of that. So you can get a little bit more kick with this, so you don't have that front weight. Next up, we got the Gen 2 Glock 17. Really quite a beautiful weapon. Very similar to the Gen 1. This is the Gen 2. Yeah, this is the Gen 2. Very similar to the Gen 1. I like it. I personally prefer no finger grooves, but there's options for both. Now, last of the 17s, we got the Gen 4 17. Now, this I got the acro on it and the light, so we're expecting to have quite a bit of moving mass, but we'll see how it works. Man, love it. The Gen 4s are great, great weapons. They still have the finger grooves. Don't mind them, but if you have smaller hands or much larger hands, the finger grooves can get in the way. So it might limit you. I highly recommend before you ever buy any weapon, you test it out yourself. See if it's something you like. Next up, Glock 34, one of my favorites. It's definitely going to be one of the next Glocks I'm going to get. This is Dan's 34. We'll see how it works. Man, I love it. Love the 34. Now this 34 has the Glock, it's their upgraded trigger in there. It's basically turns it to a single action trigger. It is phenomenal. Makes it so much lighter. And like he said, he uses it for comps. This is an excellent decision if you're running for competitions, anything like that, having this full size. I love it. And last but certainly not least, the beast, the Glock 17L. Just, if overcompensation was a weapon, that's what the 17L is. It is just all out there. Crazy looking pistol, especially with just the 17 lower. Let's go ahead, see how this works out. A lot of moving mass. You can feel it. You can feel that. The second, first time I pulled the trigger, I'm like, man, that's different. It's different than a 17. But if you're running comps, if you were to get, you can get lightning slides in this, lightning cuts in this, man, this would be probably one of your fastest you could possibly shoot is with the 17L, because that weight keeps it on target. It really does. It's just, you can feel the mass moving. So be aware of that. It is a heavier pistol having all that mass out front. But we're going to go ahead, we're going to get together, we're going to get some, do a couple drills, see what we could get done, and then we'll bring you all back to the table.
All right, guys, we're back up at the table here. We got a little bit of shooting out of the way. So we just wanted to share with you some of our experiences with Glocks and why we enjoy them so much and why we kind of own as many as we do.
Yeah, exactly. Right now we kind of got them separated. These four are my personal, and these ones are my brother Dan's. Those are his personal Glocks. We kind of, as we're going through the years, buying Glocks here and there, one of my very second pistol I ever bought was a Glock 19. We kind of agreed, we had an agreement that we'd go every other, or we'd buy different models, so that when we got together finally,
we'd have them all.
We'd have all of them, right? So going through that, I fell in love with Glock once it came out with the Gen 5. For me, I'm left-handed. I wanted that full ambi. I know my brother Dan, what was your first Glock?
Gen 3, 19.
Yeah. So you fell in love with the Gen 3. For me, that Generation 5, once I held that Glock 19 Gen 5, I fell in love, and I've been running them ever since.
I think it's a proven system. I mean, it's not even almost worth talking about. I mean, it's so proven. Like, I think it would be hard-pressed to deny the reliability of a Glock to the point where you don't really even have to test them anymore. And
yeah,
I think I know some people don't like the look of them, like, oh, it's just a square block or whatever. And that's cool. Everybody's valid to their own opinion. I actually like that, but I like the fact that they're so basic. There's just not much that could go wrong with it.
Exactly. So I have a couple of friends who hate the look of Glock, but you ask them what they carry a Glock,
Yeah.
and there's a reason. The Glock is the one firearm I can go into the store, I'll buy it, and I can leave that day, load it up, and carry it, and I'm not worried. I can carry that weapon the second I leave the store. There's no other weapon platform there's no other weapon platform like that. You usually have to run them down at least 1,000 rounds.
Or they say a break-in period.
Yeah, break-in period.
I know, like, some people's like big complaint is like the sights, you know. So like this one here, it has the factory sights on it. I see nothing wrong with these factory sights. I know they're plastic, blah blah blah, but they've always been accurate for me. I don't mind that they're plastic. Hell, half the gun's plastic. So that argument is kind of silly. I know now some of these are upgraded sights. Don't get me wrong, but some don't have sights.
I think the Glock platform, it kind of goes to prove itself how customizable it is. You see all these Glocks here, and they've all been customized independently of each other, and not a single one is the same. When we went through and shot them all, they were all drastically different, just based on what we did. For example, this one, I have a Ghost trigger disconnect in it, and it shoots completely different from any other 47 I've ever shot. It's very unique, very light trigger pull. Whereas my carry gun, this one I carry every single day. Nothing's modified about it other than I put a sights and a flashlight. That's all I did. Because I
stay away from the internals.
Yeah, I want my carry gun to be super reliable. That Glock reliability, it comes with the system. The only other pistol I can think of that's as reliable as a Glock is an M9. And let's just face it, we're not concealed carrying an M9. It's just way too heavy.
It's a pretty heavy gun.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I've concealed the 34, you know, from time to time, just kind of to do it. But the 17, 19, all the way down, I mean, I'd carry any of them any day of the week. It wouldn't matter.
Oh, same for me.
Which one out of all these were you most surprised? Because I know, like, the Gen 2, first time shooting that one.
Yeah, the Gen 2 was probably the most shocking. It is very different. The Gen 2, the most distinct difference between generations is the Gen 2. The Gen 3 to 5, very similar because they all have that newer spring system. Mm-hmm. So if you are in the market to buy a Glock, I would recommend Gen 3 or newer. I know in certain states, the reason they keep producing Gen 3, you can buy a brand new Gen 3, not even used, because California has them on their roster.
Yeah, so it has to be on the list to be able to have it.
I always recommend buying a Gen 3 or a Gen 5. The generation in between, the in-between generation, I would recommend staying away from, because you only find them used. They don't make them new anymore.
Well, like this Gen 4, I mean, it was kind of just a spur of the moment. I walked in the store, and I was already in the process of collecting all the 9s, so it was kind of just walk into the store, see what Glock they had that was used, and I picked it up. Almost every one of these actually was bought used, except the 19,
the 34, and the
17L.
17L, yeah.
Yeah, 17L, 19, and 34 were the only ones that were bought new. Everything else was bought used, and that's kind of the nice part. You can go into Cabela's any day of the week, and they're going to have 2 or 3 different ones.
Yeah, Cabela's, Bass Pro, any of those, or any other local gun store. I highly recommend going in looking at used Glocks. They have a super high reliability, even used. Buying different springs or triggers, it's not an issue with Glock.
There's ways you can look at them, too, when you get down into it. You can not tell the exact round count, but you could get a close approximation of what type of use they've been under and abuse, which would be important for me, at least as far as a used gun goes.
Yeah, I mean, looking at the finish, if it has a lot of holster wear, things like that. Look at the recoil springs. Recoil spring assemblies are super easy to replace, so I wouldn't worry too much about replacing springs like that. Another significant benefit about a Glock that you don't get with other pistols is I believe it's only made out of 34 individual parts that you can buy replacements for, all from Glock's website, just instant, just stock replacements, that you don't get that with other pistols. Recently, we were taking apart a pistol, and we lost a little spring, and we had to go searching for it. And it's just hard to get replacement parts. You don't have to worry about that.
Yeah, I mean, I paid $9 shipping for a $4 spring.
Yeah, it's Glocks. You don't have to worry about that. There is some benefit. Now, there are downsides. Biggest downside I'd say is the grip angle. Now, a lot of people say it's a Glock grip angle. I think that's a misnomer. It's a European grip angle. A lot of European weapons have this grip angle. For example, the P7 I own has this grip angle. So a lot of people, I think, forgotten about that because Europeans are making more Americanized pistols nowadays. So they kind of went away from this grip angle. They went to more vertical grip angle,
Sure.
which is more similar to American style pistols, the 1911, those style pistols.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I never even, for me, it was a non-issue.
Yeah.
I just grabbed it. I think it goes back to practicing and shooting more often. I think the more you shoot, the more you're going to be familiar with a system. Just like if I'm shooting these today and then tomorrow I go to shoot a Beretta, yeah, the first magazine, it's a little like, oh, it's
gonna be
different
weird.
angle. But it's all about practice, dry firing, you know, working with your gear and what you own. I think one of the biggest benefits of getting in the kind of Glocks is the system and the holsters and the interchangeability in holsters. For instance, I have one holster that holds my 19, my 17, my 34, and my 17L, all with one holster. So you're not buying just 27 holsters in the bottom of a drawer,
Yeah.
which is a huge pain in the ass.
No, it sucks
Right.
having, like, and I ran into the same problem. One of my first weapons I ever bought was a CZ P01, and it sucked because I only had one holster for it, and that was it. These Glocks I have outside the waistband carry, inside the waistband carry. I have with extra mags, without extra mags, and they fits all my Glocks. I don't have to.
Yeah.
I don't have to think about it. I can just any of the Glocks I grab, I can carry
Yeah.
that day right away.
Well, and even
Super
companies like Safariland, like they make nice holsters for Glocks with lights, duty style holsters, but they don't make anything for like a Beretta. So, you know, if you have that Beretta and you want that duty style setup, you're shit out of luck. You're never
Yeah.
going to get it.
Yeah.
And not to say that's why you should buy a gun, but you got to look at all the aspects. What is your aftermarket components availability? What is the market? Like, can you get replacement parts, upgradable parts? Your optics, what kind of optics can you mess with? I know M&Ps, the original generation 1 of the M&Ps, couldn't fit an optic.
No, and including in that, looking at like the aftermarket and stuff. What about actually? Sure, you might be able to find a lot of things that work for that weapon. For example, Canik or Smith and Wesson, they make a lot of different. There's a lot of accessories for those, but it might be so difficult to apply those accessories to the weapon that it becomes something that you just don't do anymore. For example, the first generation shields, those are impossible to take apart. It was a nightmare to the point where people just didn't because it was so finicky.
Yeah, I have an M&P, you just don't clean it.
You just leave it. Whereas the Glock, it's so simple, so easy to take apart. And I think the downsides of the Glock are completely fixed by training. There's the only other significant downside I can remember is people not getting the next round to load, and that's from a weak grip. All right, that's
or
a
coming up.
common
I've
issue.
seen it too, coming up too high on your grip and riding.
riding the slide.
and you'll slow it down.
Yeah. But I think training fixes those downsides. Outside of that,
I don't think there's a mechanical downside.
there's no mechanical downside to a Glock. There really isn't. Another huge benefit, if you are in, it doesn't matter what environment you're in, every single Glock, all parts are coated against rust. Every single part. Other weapons, you will not find that. Most other weapons aren't coated against rust unless you buy a specific maritime variant. Glocks, no exceptions, you are going to be good to go in a humid environment, in a dry environment, in a cold environment, or in a very hot environment. They work no matter what.
Yeah.
So it's...
And I think,
Yeah.
I obviously, we both love Glocks, you know, I mean, but I think the important part is training in general, no matter what you decide to get. Whatever gun it is, I think a good gun is the gun that you have and the gun that you practice with and you shoot. And I think getting outside or getting to the range down the road and getting rounds down range and practicing is the most important part, no matter what you buy.
If you're not going out and shooting, then that's the part that you really need to do. The training, practice. That's what it is. Doesn't matter what gun you buy, if you don't carry it and practice with it, it's useless.
Yeah, you can buy a $6,000 pistol and you're going to suck at it if you shoot it once a year.
Yeah, you could buy an Alien Lago and be shooting away, but if you ain't training with it, there ain't no point in carrying it.
I think like if I had to tell somebody to buy one gun, like it would be either a 17 or a 19, and I would tell them to buy it and leave it completely stock for like 2 years and spend all that additional money on ammo.
Exactly.
Like, you know, this whole table could be replaced with one gun and a big chest of ammo to practice with. And I think that is important. And then down the line, you know, then you start branching out and you're getting into the, you know, the small guns, the slims, all the fancy stuff or whatever, and adding flashlights and optics. I think like, you know, this would be the perfect first gun with just a crap load of ammo.
Exactly. Like you can get a police turn-in Glock for, $400 and thousands of rounds of ammo and be good to go from
Yeah.
the day you walk out that store. And that's something you don't get from other weapons. Now, we've been glazing Glock this whole video. We do love it. Obviously, we buy their products, but if it's not for you, then buy something else that is for you and train with it.
Yep.
I think that's the
best gun is the gun that feels comfortable to you, it fits your budget,
exactly,
and makes you excited about shooting. That's really bottom line. Whatever makes people excited to get out and shoot guns, I'm down for it.
100%.
I don't care.
Defend I exercise your Second Amendment rights. It's the biggest thing we can recommend. Now, with that, I do have one question. If you were only allowed to have one Glock and you had to throw away all these other ones, which one would it be? You had to throw them away. You put them in a shredder.
Oh shit.
Yeah. So if you don't pick your 17L, you're throwing that in a shredder. Which one would it be?
I think if I had to pick one to try and cover my bases, I think I would actually go with the 17. And the only reason I say this one particularly is because my other 17 doesn't have the rail, and the 34 from a concealment standpoint, if I had only one, I know the 17 I could conceal comfortably every day, and then I could still comp with it. If I had a Gen 5, I'd probably go with something like that. But I guess I would go with this one, even over the 19, which I love. But I think I would go with the 17.
I'm also, if I were to apply the same to me, I think I'd have to go with the 47 solely because it has the most options. My 19 doesn't have the front serrations, doesn't have an optics cut. I think I'd have to go with the 47.
You could do the most with it.
I could do the most with it, and I have the most mags for it with the longer grip. And I know I can conceal full size. So, I think I might have to go with that. And I love the turbo. I love the turbo light. The X300 nice. Turbo is glorious. So, But, this has been fun. It was truly a great experience.
Yeah, it was really nice to have everything kind of laid out and shoot it all at once.
Remember to ask questions in the comments if you have any questions about any of these variants. We've shot them all. So ask away and we can answer any questions.
And there'll be, down the road, there'll be individual videos probably breaking down each one or at least sub-variants and just having fun with them. You guys will see them all the time. If you guys have any questions, definitely let us know. Hit the like button, comment, subscribe, hit the bell. We got a little bit of a cleaning video coming up for you guys after all this shooting. We're going to throw up a short in the next few days.
Showing you how to properly clean your Glocks.
Yep, which is very important. So thank you guys so much for stopping by.
Remember, have a nice day.
Well, I couldn't throw them all at the same time, so here's what you get. What's up, guys? Welcome back to Range Logic. Today, we got a super exciting video. I said today, back it up. What's up, guys? Welcome back to Range Logic. We got an exciting video for you, something that has been in the works for a little more than a year now. Oh, all right. Steve's not gonna say anything.
You went off script.
I always do. What's up, guys? Welcome back to Range Logic.
And today, we are gonna be going over every single Glock 9mm variant.
This is something that I have been super excited to bring you guys for a long time. I've been thinking about it, and luckily with the help of my brother here, we're able to complete the collection. So I'm really excited to go through them all with you today.
You already said that.
Did I?
Yeah, you said excited twice to go through all of them. And I already said we're going through them.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to Range Logic.
And today, we're going to be going over every single Glock 9mm variant.
I forgot everything I was supposed to say. What's up, guys? Welcome back to Range Logic.
And today, we are going over every single Glock 9mm variant. It's your line.
I forgot the one line. What's up, guys? Welcome back. Today, we got a super exciting video.
Welcome back to what? Where the fuck channel are we on?
They know what channel they're on.
You gotta say it every fucking open.